Today, I'm not going to rate random reels. I'm going to break down how I went from 3,000 to 163,000 followers in under 3 years using these 8 content formats. We are going to cover the social proof attached to each, the relatable topics attached to each, and the angle we use for each. Then I'll show you exactly how fast your audience grows using each format, how easy it is to produce them, and how high likely the chances you'll get a customer from it, the actual buyer intent. Then I'll show you the game plan attached to it, the framework and the checklist, so you can actually take action on it today. The first thing that I want to show you, just to show you a little bit of social proof, let's scroll down together on my Instagram for you to have an idea of how many reels I posted to gain 165,000 followers, for me to make $5 million cash online selling my expertise at scale. So let's scroll down. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 131. 131 reels over a time spent of 2.5 years made me $5 million and made me an industry leader in my market. Now, that is what I'm going to show you here today. Let's start by the first one. The first one is social-based reels. If you have 3,000 followers, you just want to focus on one thing. We're not here to gain an insane amount of following at all. Most people, as you know, have 163,000 followers, or at least when we're talking about the people that are famous, the people that are influencers, the people that are well-known. But why are they not making any money in the first place? It's because they have optimized their brand for views and not buyers. And that is the first mistake. So when you are starting a new audience, right, and you want to grow it, you must focus on social-based reels, which are reels associated with client proof and live social proof. Live social proof is the easiest indicator of actual credibility when you're starting out. The related topics to it are transformational and very niche, important, specific based topics. So if we'll see these reels, I'll show you what happens. It's very niche specific. Let's look at this one.
Provide people the information and sell them the implementation. Information is out there for free. So information is less valuable than people actually think it is. So that way, when you get access to certain information.
So funny, I look like a 12-year-old here, which is amazing because I fucking love this shit. This is my biggest social proof. You have to understand, people see this video and are like, holy shit, look at how much Nick has fucking grown with the content that he's made. So I love to watch these videos.
It could be very beneficial when you don't have access to the information yet. But information is easy accessible. Implementation, accountability, and communication isn't. So
see that?
How do you overcome objections?
I don't.
All reels with clients associated to it. Then the format is side angle or interview style. Now, these don't grow your audience at all. Like, trust me, they don't grow your audience, but they get you fucking buyers. And that is what we need because it builds the social proof for you to get to that first 6 figures a year, for you to get to 10, 20,000 a month, which is very important. I didn't gain a lot of followers from these, right? I made a lot of them. I boosted them with very simple retainable ads, and I was able to produce them very clearly and easily because we were on a client retreat. You can use this credibility type of reel in many different ways. You don't have to be physically with your clients. You can do this with voiceovers. You can do this through Zoom meetings. You can do this through any type of format. The second one, we have achievement-based reels. Now, when you get to a point where you're making multiple 6 figures a year and you're making 30, 40, 50 grand selling your expertise online, you have had certain achievements and you want to leverage these achievements. And the reason I'm telling you this is because of this reason. When I go to my YouTube and I go to my videos, the moment I made my first $100,000 online, you can see it here, I utilized these achievements in my marketing to build up credibility. So the first example is how I went from 0 to 105,000 a month, how I make 100,000 a month, how I made 50,000 from IG. Now, the reason I'm doing this is not because I want to be associated with the money. It's for me to build credibility. I have all the credibility in the market right now, which is why I don't need to leverage numbers anymore. That's not a necessity anymore. But when you're starting out, you don't have social proof, you don't have over 50 client testimonials, you haven't helped your clients make over $100 million, right? It will be very hard for you to associate yourself with any type of credibility, which is hence the reason why you need to leverage these numbers. Then growth indicators and contrarian takes. You want to be able to separate yourself from the market the moment you slowly start to gain that traction. A lot of you are currently in that exact stage, meaning you need to leverage these growth indicators to scale, as well as in your long form, your short form, your clips, your podcast, anything that you do. The format associated to this, which helped me a lot, as you can see, has definitely been just standing reels. Very easy to create as well, can be in any location, very easy to edit, and it just gives you that credibility because everybody always sits down in their their fucking basement, they record their curtains in the back. It doesn't work in the first place at all. You don't need to have the fanciest background, but it needs to have some credibility, okay? And you can do this outside, anywhere, it's free. Then it's easier to grow your audience with these reels, and I'll tell you why. The difference between these two is this is optimized for credibility, for your existing audience. This is optimized to create new types of reach, new levels of reach, and hit them because you're talking about numbers, and people love numbers. Am I gonna say you're gonna attract your dream client from this? No, but it's an amazing start to gain that first traction for you to have the opportunity to get that first reach in and actually give yourself a proper kickstart. Buyer intent is decently high. You'll get a lot of buyers from this because there is an actual system. There is a contrarian take behind what you do. Then the next one is very interesting, miro reels. Now, and as most of you guys know that know me, I invented the miro reels. Now, these popped off like fucking crazy. I think it got me at least 80,000 followers out of all the followers that I currently have. Because it is an extremely applicable strategy. It showcases a transformation on a screen with a miro board, and it shows the technicality behind something, right? It makes it very easy for people to understand. They're technical driven. It's a demonstration about either a system, a belief, a value, or any framework / script. It's a behind the scenes process, and it's extremely data driven. The format, easy. Everybody has a desk and everybody has a fucking computer. So you can record these anywhere. Screen share overlays, you can use that easily. The audience growth is amazing because it is something that isn't used, right? Later in today's video, I'm going to show you the miro reels of today, of how you can make them pop off today. Because if you create them like the way I show you here now on this screen, like these 6 of how I did a year ago, I can promise you if you copy it, you won't be able to make it work. There's a new miro strategy right now that you need to implement because trust me right now, like everything gets saturated super quick. If you don't implement what I show you here today, I can promise you in fucking 6 months to 1 year, it won't work as effectively anymore as it does now. So watch this video, use it as a fucking goldmine, and implement it the moment I tell you to. It's actually easy, so I'm gonna remake this video again in a year from now. We have different data points because we have worked with over 300 clients. We know exactly what works, which is the reason why I've been able to prove it not only to my clients, but I think I'm one of the biggest social proof levers here for myself. Buyer intent, amazing. People love these videos and you actually get buyers from these videos. The fourth one is a very interesting one. And currently you're at a stage where you're making anywhere between 70 to 100 grand a month and things are going well, but you have to pair yourself as a brand and associate yourself with higher level authorities. And the reason I'm telling you this is because just providing value isn't enough. You have to do different things. You have to meet clients in person. You have to either host a podcast or go on a podcast. You have to start running advertisement. You have to spend time with clients in person, as I told you here. And you also have to, this is a very interesting video, get your team into your content, which is amazing. These 5 formats will give you more credibility and reach for you to become an industry leader and dominate your market in what you're doing, right? Stage speaking is amazing because you can do masterminds, you can do aspirational interviews, you have actual public authority, and you can create and clip that into beautiful moments for you to distribute, which is exactly what I did, as you can see here. So we had the miro videos, they fucking popped off, 229, 192, almost like 200-300k views and we gain an insane amount of followers. And then I capitalized on it by using my credibility as a standpoint, right? This set the frame for my brand. This moment here, all different formats, set the frame for my brand. That was when Nick's Setting was born, right? The actual statement of Nick's Setting, of the way people preach me, was actually born. And from there, I developed it onwards, and I'll show you how. Then, ultimately, stage presentation, long-form interviews. When you create content, you have two ways of creating content, and I talked about this often: documented and not documented, right? Documented is you sit behind a camera, you start talking, you're not actually in a flow state for you to have the opportunity and availability to create skill constantly because you're overthinking, you don't know how the fuck to create good topics, and you have no idea that when you finally talk, if it's actually good enough. And when you don't feel like it's good enough, you want to have the confidence. And when you don't have the confidence, you won't present yourself very well. Undocumented content, which is something that I invented for my clients, is having the ability to be the expert that you're supposed to be, do your thing, and film what you're doing already. So as an example, having a client call is an example of undocumented content. Me creating this piece of content, going on podcast is an amazing example. You can do masterminds, you can do in-person events, you have client retreats that you can host where you technically share your experience, where you coach people live. Capture that moment so people see you be in the moment as an expert instead of you forcing yourself to talk to the camera. Audience growth, this one is amazing as well because you can see 1.1 million. Oh, so many fucking people love this podcast. 41,000 fucking likes and 8,000 comments. This was where the brand Nick's Setting was born. And then obviously we can see here pre-production is decently easy at this point. You'll think it's difficult, and the reason you think it's difficult is because you're not at this stage. But when you have built all that credibility from the fucking prior reels, it's gonna be very easy for you to actually get on podcasts. It's gonna be very easy for you to actually get going and get on client retreats with clients. It's very easy for you to get, I wanna show you this reel. Let me see where it is, this one.
I spent $10,000 flying out a stranger I met on the internet from the Philippines straight to Dubai. Why? To give him time of his life. And he's been my content.
Bring people from your team into your content. So powerful. Most every single prospect that has the intent of buying from us already knows half of our team, which is fucking amazing because we have such a strong culture in our team, and we bring, and I leverage that in the content to bring that trust. Okay, then the next one is talking head. Very easy. At a certain point you get to a stage, this is very important, where you're very sophisticated. And sophisticated, the definition for me of sophistication is you create high value production, you make a lot of money, everybody respects you. Which means at these three stages, the opposite works. Meaning when you are at the end level of top production and you go all the way back to the most basic level of production, you'll get an insane amount of respect and credibility. Okay, and you repeat this process every 3 to 6 months over and over again. So to give you an amazing example of this, everybody was here. The reason why this goes 4,000 likes back then, which was very high, is because people really loved that I showed my authenticity. It's that I show the advice that I wanted to share in a very fucking raw format, right? And when you're at that stage where you have that credibility anyways, you can show that easily.
So I made $3.3 million online in the past.
Super shitty audio, super shitty mic, super shitty, what is it called? Visual.
2.5 years. And the main thing
low quality
that I learned to increase revenue with minimal input and maximum output is nothing to do with marketing, nothing to do with sales, nothing to do with fulfillment, nothing to do with branding. It's pricing. Think about this.
Look how many people love this. We get so many comments from this. Just 76 comments of people just showing love, which worked really well. We gained a lot of actual clients from this as well because people just said, this is super raw, this is super organic, this helps and this works super well. But here is the thing, very important. Strategy breakdowns and insider systems is what you actually share. The moment you go too broad in talking heads is the moment it will go viral. But one thing, you'll never get buyers from it, which is the problem. Don't choose to go broad on talking head videos. We have tested this with clients. We've done this ourselves. We know what fucking works. So just listen to me and do what I tell you to do, because if you go broad on these types of reels, you won't be able to make it work. My average views were around like 30 grand, and we got above the average, 40, 36, 54, 146, 50, 41. It works well. That's the reason why we did it, and it built a lot of trust, got us a lot of clients. Format, casual talking, in the moment organic, audience growth, not that great, but buyer intent is fucking amazing. And the production, pre-production, you get your camera, you start talking, you have an amazing idea, and you just rip it. You post it, done. Super simple. Next one is proof of positioning. This is where you actually leverage your podcast clips or any specific format that really shows credibility. Could be client results on social currencies, could be any level of social proof where you just show that what you've done in the past fucking couple months / year here works. So this specific part technically reconfirms the 5 prior formats based on distribution and leverage. Now, what you're doing here is you're not breaking down things. Look, you're not going to break down ideas. You are going to share a worldview. Let me see, where are these? I posted a couple. The reason why these views are a little bit lower here is because I posted them on my Grow acquisition page. This one, where we share loads and loads of client results. Look, you can see that these ones. But these ones are new there.
You obviously do a great job, you have a great team, you get people results.
Now we show so much credibility and social proof every day.
What have you learned from me in terms of story sequences? I'm curious on that.
I love the story sequences, but it's crazy how what a journey you can take someone on in those story sequences. And I've played it, like you said, the thing on the data tracking, we literally have a miro board with every single story sequence, the drop off rate of all of them, the number of steps, and then the number of frames. So how many photos are there? How many tap throughs are there? And for me specifically, the highest performing ones are the shorter ones, but it's about the balance of credibility ones, which is just me proving who I am.
Yes.
Testimonial ones, so people, my clients succeeding, and then the CTA ones. Yes. And still working out the specific balance.
And this is another great example of another social proof lever as well.
People don't think of you as a code. They think of you as Nick Setting. I work with entrepreneurs to help them scale using hypnosis. Previously, it's something that people find hard to sell because it's kind of less tangible than I make you X revenue, right? And everyone told me no, you shouldn't do that. Nobody else can do it. But then the first thing that you helped me with is how to actually position that offer properly, how to make steps so people can logically understand it, more how to frame it, how to create a unique mechanism.
All social proof.
Grow Acquisition has organized over 7 client retreats.
All client retreats.
And if there's one thing that...
There are other people you could have chosen from besides me, right? And maybe you had options that you desired to choose from. It was whatever. But making a wrong decision could prevent you from taking the next right decision.
Yes.
Because it creates fear.
I know for a fact that if I had went with anyone else, despite them even having decent systems, probably decent fulfillment, there is literally no way, seriously, there's no way that I would have went to 200K this fast, if ever.
It's just so much social proof, and it's so important to share this whenever you have buyers, because this is the reason why people choose me all the fucking time over anybody else. I'm the only one in this market that has been proven social proof for such a long period of time every single fucking day. How can people believe others? And this is the thing, what I learned and what a lot of clients told me. Don't believe people's words, just look at their actions and it says enough. Please. You can see that I've grown based on my first reel and my latest reel. You can see that I've grown if you check my first YouTube video ever, where I just made a simple video about how to find appointment setters compared to my last one. And especially in this stage, you leverage proof of positioning through very authority-driven formats. And an authority-driven format is a podcast style, right? Interview clip, the audience growth is slower with this one, but the pre-production, it could go viral. One went very viral, obviously this one, I showed one the year prior. This one, I posted it early, pre-post, 1.1 million. And these ones, 81K, it's fucking crazy. 81,000 people is a lot of people. Pre-production, easy. At that level, it's very easy. And buy intent is fucking amazing because you technically show the industry who is leading. And I've been showing that over and over again, not by words, but by the content that I create, everything that I show, and the clients that I work with. Then you go to reach-based reels. At this point, the only thing you need, you have buyers, you have amazing followers, you have a loyal audience, you have people that love you have clients that love you, you'll be able to pay every single expense on earth. You live an amazing life, you travel the world, like everything is fucking great, right? You're an entrepreneur, you're a founder of a company, and you're leading the industry. You wanna go fucking doubling down on creating the biggest reach possible while, let me please be honest here, and fucking very straight, leveraging niche specific topics. Again, you're not going to talk about, okay, cool, this is my daily routine, or this is how I create motivation. No, let me give you a great example of this. I can show you perfectly what I mean. A great example has to do anything related to your market. So, content format.
After you say the price, shut up. Let them process.
One example. Let me see another good example. This one is a great example.
You gave away so much free content that your audience now believes they should have never paid you in the first place. Think about what you've done.
I love this one.
Every day for the last 6 months, you've been handing out strategies.
We get so many clients from this. Goat of the space, Warren Rosie's effect. Amazing sharing this. I really like this guy. It's just, this is where my brand grew from 100 to like, what is it here? I can see 139 grand. Like it's literally, it grows so fast. I think the gap between this was even bigger, but we did it in like 2 to 3 weeks because the first one that I posted, look, was in January, I think. The 16th of January. It's now the 25th of March, which is 2 months, which is ridiculous. 1 million views, 100 grand, 300 grand, 500 grand. 300 grand. It was the time of reach, right? Contradicting takes, cinematics, side angles, confidence, conviction, very important. Institutional validation. That's what you're portraying with this specific asset. Audience growth, fucking amazing. You grow your audience super fast. Pre-production, Maxi is sitting here in front of me. He's editing and he's doing the work in pre-plan for tomorrow of everything that we're gonna record. And he's sitting here and we're working on this together. Like Max is traveling with me as a creative director. And I made a video about exactly this, as you can see here.
As a founder, you must have a head of content. If you wanna multiply distribution, you can't do it alone. There are 3 phases, and we talked about this today, Max. Most people have a virtual assistant or an editor, which is great, but you are still busy with ideating, you're still busy with strategy, you're still busy with hiring, you're still busy with revisions.
That is probably you now. It is literally you now.
It's impossible. Exactly. That's why you must hire a creative director, because that person can take off all that mental space. So you, as a founder, the person that makes the content, can focus on only communication and a part of ideation. So you can just perform extremely.
And at this level, this is fucking needed. Buyer intent slightly lower, but it doesn't matter because let me show you why. Now, we made our biggest month, $600,000 in a single month, cash, slightly less. It was 572 and bank transfer, a couple bank transfers. But the reason I'm showing you this, because here you can see the views went down. Wait, fuck, Nick, the views went down. Only 200 grand, 70 grand, 60 grand, 100 grand, 60, that's not good. And it was 200, 300, 700, 900. It's like 5 times less. No, this is the actual strategy. This is what creates what I call vlog style content, bonding, connection, and relatability, to now have the opportunity to convert all the most qualified viewers from the stage where you optimize for reach. This is where you have a stage where you optimize for an insane amount of reach. And guess what happens here? I want you to listen. Every single person that is popping off, people know when you're popping off, not because they even like your content, but they just constantly see me on their fucking page, in their For You page. They constantly see me pop off. Everybody talks about it. And that moment is when the audience is what I call hot. It's extremely easy to convert any audience, any person in the audience at that point. Meaning, when everybody talks about you, when everybody knows you're fucking killing it, when everybody knows they're copying you, you won't understand how many people copy me with this format specifically and this format. I think when you know me, you know very well that I'm very good at creating these unique topics and that We've done this with clients, we've done this for ourselves, and that there are a lot of people are copying us with these, which is okay, which is another topic of discussion. I'd love to go into this marketing angle later on at a certain point, but I made a video about this already. Then we go super niche based on converting and maximizing maximum conversion from this, which is hence the reason why we hit $600,000 organically, completely organic, okay? Relatability, connection, topics. You show a system, a process, value, and massive pain. I show loads and loads of pain here. Loads of pain. Your bio is shit.
When a stranger lands on your profile, their brain
makes a decision in under 3 fucking seconds if their bio is fucking amazing and if they'll stay, or if their bio is fucking shit and they'll leave. That's the importance. Same here.
I got asked this question around 200 times in the last 30 days. How was I able to make $600,000 in cash, close to $1 million in rev?
Organically with a system of appointment setting, meaning I show a niche important topic. I'll show you behind the scenes. Okay, show a niche important topic. Same here. Boom.
Do you see?
I share in all honesty how I fired my setter, right? And how I hired a new setter here.
In the last video, you saw how I fired my setter. You see how active.
Bro, this shit is so, I'm like so excited to share this because this shit is like, it's so good. Even though I'm talking about it myself, you must see all the conversion from this, like the actual money that is being made with this, which is why the only thing that matters in content, trust me, like we've done so much content for our clients. The only thing that matters, stop to listening, like literally please stop listening to people that tell you that the hook matters, the body matters, and the CDA matters. The only thing that matters is the idea that you have in the topic that you talk about and the fucking strategy behind it, the framework behind it. That is the only thing that matters. Focus on that. It's not complicated, trust me. You just need to get access and you just need to have it. It's not like, oh, okay, if I use this hook, then this CTA and I optimize for this body, my content will work and I'll do this and then this and I edit. Fuck that, okay? Of course that is important, but when your topic is shit, nothing will work. Let me show you this one. We see View Insights.
I have the formula.
Almost 2,000 followers from a vlog style reel that is about a very niche specific topic, meaning audience growth is amazing. Pre-production, it's very excellent because it's very easy to set up and buyer intent is amazing, right? It's very good. I would even mention this as fucking 4. Definitely 4, because this gets you loads of customers and conversions from the actual prior reach created, right? This is how you grow an audience, and not an audience of viewers, not an audience of fans, but an audience of fucking buyers. It's not complicated. You just need to understand the system and the breakdown behind it, which is what I show you here today. So go fucking execute on it, because currently, you're struggling with the conversion process. You don't know how to actually get buyers from the content you create. You don't know how to get views from it. You don't know how to optimize the content in a way for you to attract the right people in the first place. You can't get traffic leading to it, meaning you have a big issue with traffic and conversion, the 2 pillars in business that are most important to make money, okay? A business without sales isn't a company. And I can't do this without a breakdown. I can do it without my team. I can do it without a proper system. Do you think I can manage, edit, organize, ideate all of this myself? Of course not. You need to have people that, first of all, know what they're doing for you to save yourself time on the informational aspect of things, because you have paradox of choice. You don't know what for content to create because there are too many fucking options. That is the exact problem, and you don't know what you need for your situation within your niche to sell your expertise online within your industry. And that's the fucking problem. That's why not only when you do create content, because this is what so many people say, optimize for volume. I made a fucking reel about this. Let me show you this reel right now. I want you to see it right now, fucking now. This is so important. So important.
Your content doesn't work.
Please.
Because you treat it like a fucking task on your to-do list. Okay. Volume. Isn't that what people are screaming? Right now you only get 100 likes and you get no buyers. So why the fuck are you listening to them?
So true. Why are you listening to people that optimize for volume but haven't got sales? It's about the production of quality, the strategy, and the ideation behind what you do. And then when you do this in a long format, you can always distribute it in highlights, you can distribute it in reels, you can distribute it in client results, you can distribute it in story sequences, right? For people to actually get engaged with what you're doing formally from a consistent perspective. And that's so fucking important. That's what so many people miss. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please ask me. I'm happy to provide you anything needed for you to make so much money, so that I know at a certain point you trust me enough, and you trust the fact that I helped enough clients for me then to help you scale.